Hello everyone, this is David, Fairly Secret Music. Today I decided to buy the whole Lord Weird Slough Feg discography, also known as Slough Feg if you're not familiar. This is a band that started in Pennsylvania, I believe, and then moved to San Diego. That was in the 90s. They've been around since, geez, I don't even know. Let me check one thing. Sorry about this. They were originally on Dragonheart Records, and then so they formed in the 90s. They put out, I think, a self-released album, which I really want to get, but I'm not sure. It might have a lot of stuff re-recorded for this one. And so they have kind of a new wave of British heavy metal sound, kind of like Iron Maiden and Thin Lizzy kind of shoved together with a little Skyclad for, the kind of Irish kind of folky kind of stuff. Their vocalist is a guy named is it Mike Scalzi? Yeah, Mike Scalzi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. But then they did these 3 albums, which are Twilight of the Idols. And this one I have not listened to a lot. I used to own this, and then for some reason I really just wasn't getting into them at the time. I had a burned copy of their album Outworlder, what's it called? Hardworlder. Excuse me. And that one I really liked, but I never purchased it. I got this, and I just really couldn't get into them at the time. I believe I sold this in 2018, and I think this is the exact same copy, because my copy had this kind of tear where the side kind of rolled up on itself right here. And yeah, I believe this is the exact same copy I sold to the cheapo and Blaine, which was awesome because then I knew they were in great condition, because it doesn't look like anybody listened to these. I think I listened to it maybe like 3 times, and then like 2 years ago sold it, probably because I needed money, because I had a shitty job that didn't really give me, well, it wasn't a shitty job, it was just not a well-paying job. But Twilight of the Idols, Down Among the Dead Men. If you want to hear awesomeness, they have a song called Sky Chariots. So check out Sky Chariots on this one. Darcy 6 Strings 9 Lives. I think you will totally dig this, especially this album. Check it out. It's awesome. I wish I could play samples here. And then Traveler, they did this album. I can just put this up here. This album is a concept album based on the Traveler video or role-playing game. So Traveler, Down Among the Dead Men. I don't know if you can see that title. There we go. And Twilight of the Idols. All come in this crazy little box, which is cool. This was originally, all 3 of those were originally done by Dragonheart, and then when they signed to Metal Blade in 2013, they put them all out in this cool box set, because they were out of print for quite a while. But before they joined Metal Blade, they were on Cruz del Sur, and this was the album that they changed their name from Lord Weird Slough Feg to Slough Feg. There are 2 guys in this band that were in each other's bands. John Cobbett and... Was it John Cobbett? Geez, I don't even remember names. Let's find out. Cobbett. Yep, John Cobbett. John Cobbett and Mike Scalzi were both in Lord Weird Slough Feg and a band called Hammers of Misfortune, which I will talk about after this. So this is one that I've never owned, just picked up. They had their whole discography used except for the very first one and the newest one that came out in 2019. So, and they're all used, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to just buy them. Granted, it doesn't help the band, although I did buy this brand new originally. So, Hard Worlder. Oh man, this album has a song called Tiger Tiger. That is another fantastic song. Very new wave of British heavy metal with Iron Maiden, Thin Lizzy kind of mixed up. I believe Ape Uprising is kind of where some of their fans kind of were like, but I've never heard it. I may have heard one or two tracks. I just thought, you know what? I'm getting all these other ones. I might as well complete the collection. I also ordered their newest one where they changed their name back to Lord Weird Slough Feg. This is an odd one. All these albums come with lyrics, except for this one only has lyrics for one song, and even the remastered, or not remastered, the reissued version only has those one song lyrics. This is an awful cover. I hate it. Animal Spirits. This is their only album that they did on Profound Lore. I thought that was kind of a weird choice of labels, but what are you going to do? And then after that, this is 2014, they moved to, what's this album called? Digital Resistance. This is when they were on Metal Blade. So when they were on Metal Blade, they put out this, and now they moved to Cruz del Sur again and changed their name back to Lord Weird Slough Feg. So you had John Cobbett and Mike Scalzi, both in the band. Then at some point, I can't remember when, I want to say after Hard Worlder is when John leaves, and let's find out. Yeah, I think, I think this one is where John leaves, and yeah, because he was on here. He leaves and focuses solely on Hammers of Misfortune. So I had heard of Lord Weird Slough Feg, but I had never really given him any time, and I had heard a couple songs. My friend Ben, huge fan of theirs, he turned me on to them, and at the same time, I turned him on to Hammers of Misfortune. So in 2010, this came out. Hammers of Misfortune originally were called Unholy Cadaver, and they had more of a death metal or black metal feel to them. I've never heard that Unholy Cadaver stuff, but this was the first one, like their first album as Hammers of Misfortune, and this had Janice Tanaka, who was in L7 and a few other things. She does vocals on here too, along with Mike Scalzi. Let me make sure about that. You never know. There's too much information for me to get wrong. Yeah, Scalzi sings, and so does Janice. And John, I believe, does the death metal vocals. But this album is fantastic. Check out The Dragon is Summoned. That song is awesome. So awesome. And then they switched bass players. They did this album, which is called The August Machine. And John and Mike is on here. They get a new bass player named Jamie Mayers and add an organist named Sigrid Shai. I believe both of them Jamie and Ingrid, or Sigrid, were part of Amber Asylum, which has connections to Neurosis and kind of like other kind of European-y type metal bands. I'm not quite sure. I had the first Amber Asylum album. There was a lot of keyboards and cellos and stuff like that. It was all instrumental. But this album, so that's who's in it. But on this album, the bass is and vocals are provided by Janice Tanaka. I did not realize that. Chris Force also plays violin on here, who also was in... Oh, this is just weird. So, what songs to listen to on this? The first four: August Engine, Rainfall, A Room, and a Riddle. Oh my god, that song is awesome. And August Machine Part 2. The rest of it's good, but those really, really stand out. Then after this, and I found out about this band, I saw this picture in Terrorizer magazine, and I was like, who the hell is this? And you get, this is Mike, Sigrid, Jamie, John, and Chewy. So this album is called The Locust Years, and the title track is fantastic, but the song Trot Out Your Dead is the highlight of this album, in my opinion. But it's all good. These last few I have not listened to a lot. They switch at this point. Mike leaves, so let's see. This was done in... I think they both kind of were stepped away from each other's bands. This was 2006, and I believe this Slough Feg album was also 2006. Let me see here. Of course, I have the discography right here. Yeah, this is 2005. So, yeah, they both decide, okay, we have to go focus on our own bands. So you don't have Mike in Hammers of Misfortune anymore. They get new singer, I believe new bass player again. Sigrid still stays. Jamie leaves. They put out this 2-disc album on... I don't think this was on Metal Blade originally. I think this was still on Cruz del Sur, or maybe it was a weird other label. I'm not sure, but I never owned it until they... So it's always... I believe it's always been Church of Broken Glass and... What's this other one called? Church of Broken Glass and Fields. Fields has a trilogy on there that's about 15 minutes, and then it has like 3 other songs. And then Church of Broken Glass, which is the orange one, that has 5 songs on it. So they probably could have fit all of it, maybe all of it on one disc, but they might have had to get rid of a track, so that's probably why they did a double. But this was released by Metal Blade. Let's comment on this crappy... That's where you have to get the CD out of. But there's a booklet behind each CD, so you can just grab the CD and the booklet and pull out, and then you don't have to risk scratching your discs. This album came out in 2011. Lots of stuff was going on in my life. In 2012, I got a divorce. So, this one is called 17th Street, and I believe it's the same singer on this one also. I thought they had broken up. I didn't even realize they were together, and then this album came out, and I was like, what? So it took me a while to get it. Whereas Lord Weird, Slough Feg, or Slough Feg are more of that new wave of British heavy metal. Um, Hammers of Misfortune do like progressive British heavy metal, thrash, black metal, prog, everything kind of combined. It's just like I mean, it all fits though, so it's awesome. It doesn't sound odd. And then this album, which is called Dead Revolution, I did not even know this came out. I just got this recently. I have not yet listened to it because I bought it in a stack of other things. And for a Death Angel fan, the current drummer of Death Angel, plays drums on this. I think his name is Will Carroll or something like that. Let's find out. This one has really weird, that looks like Voivod lyrics. Just kind of handwritten, kind of Voivod-y kind of look. Yeah, Will Carroll. I believe they switched out bass players yet again on this one. They have a lot of bass player and guitar player issues, and apparently drummer issues. I think Chewy is back in the band. Their drummer's name is Chewy. Not to be confused with Chewy from Voivod. But Will Carroll from Death Angel plays on this. So, if you were going to check out anything by either of these bands, these would be the albums that I would suggest. The Bastard, August Engine, and Locust Years for Hammers of Misfortune. And then from Slough Feg, Down Among the Dead Men, Traveler. That's my friend Ben's favorite album by them. He actually got me into Slough Feg. I got him into Hammers of Misfortune. And then Hardworlder. So, hopefully this is a band that some of you have not heard of, and that let's throw this up there so you don't have to see my face so much. Well, actually, you would see all that junk. Hopefully these are bands that you haven't heard of, and you're like, wow, that's some good shit. Just check them out. Slough Feg and Hammers of Misfortune. Let me know if I turn anybody on to these two bands. Not turn anybody on, I don't care about that. But hopefully I have expanded your horizons musically and made you a little bit more broke, because now you need to go buy a bunch of CDs.